Now you see why I have to speak this truth? You see why? Wasn't it Edmund Burke who said all that's necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing, right? I'm not going to stand here and be silent. I'm not going to stand here and be intimidated. Those people out there, they can slander and they can defame me all they want, all day and night. Call me anything. Fake news, lies, fake accusations. The truth is that you people are genocidal maniacs trying to kill black babies and turn black women against their own babies. You're trying to turn a woman's womb into a murder system through the use of covert sterilization chemicals. That is a scientific and medical fact. And that's why I'm standing here today, to speak this truth, to put it on the record, so that no one can hide from this fact, that this genocide is taking place right now, today. It's not 1932 Tuskegee experiment anymore. It's more advanced now. It's not just one vector killing black people. It's 5 or 6 different vectors. It's in the food, it's in the vaccines, it's in the medicine, it's in the psychiatric drugs. Oh, and let's get to the food, because this is the final chapter of this that will absolutely shock you. Now, you're hopefully aware of genetic engineering of the food supply, right? They're called GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. This is an advanced science technique to alter the DNA of food crops in order to build in certain traits and physical properties or even chemical properties that the scientists want to put into the food. Now, I'm going to explain to you how your food is now being weaponized as an extermination vector to eliminate black lives. All right? Now, I'm a food scientist. I'm the author of Food Forensics. It achieved the #1 best-selling science book on Amazon.com. I'm the co-author of science papers that have been published in mainstream science journals. I'm not just a casual layperson when it comes to food science. I run a mass spec laboratory that's ISO accredited, validated, audited, inspected, passed many, many tests. Our data can be used in a court of law anywhere around the world. We do food analysis. We can search for complex molecules such as pesticides or elements such as mercury or cadmium. So I run the lab. I am the lab science director. I know a thing or two about food science. Now, what they have invented, when I say they, I'm talking about the genetic engineers. Not only have they found a way to put these genetically engineered traits into food crops, they've now found a way to cause food crops to grow RNA fragments that can be specifically targeted like bioweapons to interfere with the physiological processes of targeted species that might eat the food. Now, this technology is called RNA interference technology. It's relatively new compared to GMOs, relatively new. It's being touted now as a technology to eliminate the use of pesticides, because what they're saying is they can cause a corn crop to grow RNA fragments that will kill the insects that eat the corn without having to use pesticides like toxic chemicals that overload the insect nervous system and kill it from a nervous system breakdown and so on. This RNA interference technology is a pesticide technology, but it doesn't rely on pesticide chemicals. It relies on RNA fragments in the food. Now, what's disturbing about this is that this technology can be fine-tuned to target a specific race of humans who eat the food. I want you to follow me very carefully on this, because most people have never heard of this before. They've never heard of this technology. They don't know it can be targeted by race. Food crops can be engineered right now based on existing technology to cause infertility in black people alone. That technology is a reality. It's widely covered out there in the mainstream media, in the science media. RNA interference technology, widely covered. And they openly talk about how it can be used to target specific physiological processes of certain insect species. They can interfere with DNA repair or protein synthesis in insects. They can interfere with fertility or reproduction. They can interfere with mobility, a nervous system interaction with the musculoskeletal system, or depending on what animal we're talking about, other systems, endoskeleton systems. I ask you, does that technology exist? The answer is yes. It absolutely exists right now. Are they using that technology? I asked you, do a little bit of research, look at the plummeting sperm production in black men. Sperm production is plummeting in black men. Sperm production is precisely the kind of physiological process that can be targeted by RNA interference technology. Now, is that proof that the food crops are being engineered to cause sperm production to plummet in black men? No, it's not proof. But when you connect the dots of all the other things that are being done covertly, this becomes something very likely in the realm of possibility. It would take a lot of advanced testing to find this out. And guess who controls the funding? Guess who controls nearly all the science funding in America today? The federal government. The same government that allows the CDC to cover up the truth about vaccines and black children.
Welcome to the age of awakening. I hope you listen to this message. Do we see the evil? I know this is not news to me, not as this news to many of you, but to many of you, this is also going to be a news and a real awakening. They tried to exterminate the black race during the Tuskegee experiment where they gave them syphilis on the false pretense. That didn't work out. If you go to many poor black neighborhoods, there's an abortion clinic on every block, and liquor store and drugs is drug infested. Apparently that's not good enough. Now they're going to genetically modify the food to the point that it can target black people when you eat it and make you sterile, barren. That's not enough. They poison the water with fluoride to make you so dumb, dull you down that you can't even think. God help us. The black race, the African race, the human race. We have to wake up. We can no longer sit back and be silent and be quiet. Why should a handful of people, 1% or 5% or 10% on the top, dictate to us how long we should live, what kind of disease we should catch, how that disease should affect us, should it be in our bloodline from generation to generation? Why should a handful of people sit back and dictate to the rest of the world how to live, what to eat, what to wear, what to think, what programs to watch on TV, what kind of car you should drive, what is trending, what kind of degrees you should have? Even the word degrees, think about it. I want to do a program on they play with words. But the point is, for 10% or 5% or 1% of the population of the world that control the world's wealth, why should they dictate to us, 90% or 98% of us, what to do? It is not their fault. It's our complacency. It's our laziness. It's our lethargy or lethargicness. We have to rise up. This is the age of awakening. May you rise up in Jesus' name. May we. This is not just if this is a physical and a spiritual battle. And the battle will only be won if each person played their part. Those who know how to do warfare, you take authority and begin to do warfare. Form a team of people and begin to pray against this agenda that will be brought to light. They will be made to pay. They will be exposed. And they'll go to jail. Those of you who physically can do whatever you need to do, as this young man, Mike Adams, is doing to expose them, do it. But this is not a one man's job. And the reason I believe there are more good people in the world than there are bad. The reason why it seems that evil is advancing, the many good people in the world are afraid to speak up. Because exactly what happened to Mike Adams. They call him all kinds of names. They ridicule him. They mock him. They took down, YouTube took down his channel. All kinds. People are afraid of the backlash. But we can no longer sit back and be afraid. Because if we sit back and be afraid, what will people think of me? They will make fun of me. Then you won't have a planet. Not will your grandchildren have an Earth or an America or an Africa to call home anymore. If we sit back and be silent because we're afraid. There's power in numbers. There's more of us than there are those guys. So why are we sitting down being silent? Please rise up in Jesus' name. Welcome to the age of awakening. This is Dagnet. Thank you for sharing and subscribing. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.